And we're delighted to have James Liang, chairman of Tripcom Group, join us. Unfortunately, he cannot join us live because he's on a business trip. That's good news for us, right? And we couldn't get the timings to fit, but this interview was recorded just over the weekend. So, enjoy. Hello, James. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Right. So I understand you're in Boston. So any big news to share from this trip that you've made to the US of A?
Yeah, I've been traveling for the last 4 months. Now I'm in East Coast, visiting New York and Boston. Visiting some of our partners, hotel chains, airlines, and also online companies in the travel industry.
So James, is this what is considered revenge travel?
Yeah, it is. Like actually, I've been staying in China for like everybody else, for a year and a half, and I can't wait to see all our friends in Europe and US. And you need to do a 2-week quarantine when you go back, so you just might as well make most of it.
So the first question I want to ask you is, when can we expect to welcome Chinese travelers home to our countries? When do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I'm usually just a few months earlier than the Chinese travelers. Of course, the big question is, when will the big crowd will start to come again from China? Everybody's guessing, but I think my best guess is somewhere in 3 to 6 months, China will start to loosen up.
Let's go back to the beginning, because I remember when this whole thing first started, you were like the first travel leader to call for collaboration. And you wrote an article in March 2020 about how tech and mobile apps could help contain the epidemics, if you remember that article. So what do you think, is the biggest lesson that you've learned in this? And what do you think travel could have done better as an industry, you think?
Well, I think currently the vaccine record is the ones that every country recognize, and it's been pretty well communicated between different countries that the vaccine records from most countries, including from China, are recognized. So that's not a big problem anymore. I think it's just a matter of time then when Singapore is probably the first in Asia, when Asian countries start to treat the virus more like a common big flu, like the Western countries. And probably by 1 month or 2 months, we'll see rich, small countries in Asia with high vaccination rates start to open. And 3 to 4 months, where most Asian countries, including Thailand, including Korea and Japan, start to open up. And if every country's, as I said, if every country around China starts to open, and China will be feeling the pressure to open soon.
Yeah. So I think the second topic that you're very passionate about too is how this period has made us think about how we work and, how we meet and play, right? And so, Tripcom, you started the hybrid work trial, for example. So how does this play into China's traditional, must work hard culture? How do you think this period is going to change the work culture in China?
Yeah, this is a huge thing. I think, last time the work schedule change is from 50-hour week to a 40-hour work week. That was probably 80 years or even 100 years ago. There hasn't been such a major change since then, but pandemic really accelerated this change, and this change is going to stay, meaning you don't require the workers to come to work for 40 hours a week, maybe only 3 days or 2 days out of a week to come to the office. And most, we're experimenting one Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So workers can choose to work from home on Wednesday and Friday. So that changed the work, commute. They also changed the vacation strategy. I think people would take longer vacations and a lot more vacations, especially short vacations, a lot more short vacations. So yeah, I think that's a very positive impact for the overall travel industry. Albeit, a lot of the big conferences and business meetings are placed by virtual meetings, but overall, I think there could be a lot more vacations, longer vacations, a lot more shorter vacations, and also the kind of just commute and stay for 1 or 2 nights to work. Those kind of travel demand will permanently increase. So post-COVID, it could be a big positive from this kind of the work schedule change.
That's very positive news. The other big theme in our industry is sustainability and climate change, right? And which is like dominating the media headlines. How do you think this theme will influence China's travel market, and how companies like yourself would think about sustainability?
China is very well positioned to take advantage of the more sustainable travel. More people will travel, especially by high-speed railway. The Chinese continue to build, breathtaking pace, record level of high-speed railway, not just connecting the eastern part, which is the most populous part, but also extensive networks into the rural and the western region. That's very good. Well, that's actually very luxurious because not many business travelers into those regions, but very good for tourism, very good for leisure travel. If people can take advantage of that, that's very good for promoting a more sustainable travel.
All right. So the other thing too is, I think the last time I saw you was in 2019 on your 20th anniversary. And I remember you on stage declaring this goal, and you said that Tripcom Group wants to have the leading international travel brand in Asia in 3 years and to be the leading international travel brand in the world by 2025. So has the pandemic slowed this down, or has it accelerated it?
Well, it definitely slowed us, slowed us a little bit. But we are not cutting back during the COVID. We didn't have a lot of opportunity to invest during COVID. But we, unlike our partner or other competitors, they actually extensively cut back their investment in our team in Asia Pacific. We kind of just stay put and keep our team intact. But we will resume our expansion and investment very quickly when Asia starts to recover. So it slows us down a little bit, but we'll continue on this growth trajectory in Asia.
So will we see revenge investment as well, James? I mean, we it depends on how fast we can recover, right? And the earliest signs in Asia is encouraging. Well, just recently, very recently, we, thanks to Singapore's opening up, Singapore still have quite a few cases, but Singapore government, I think, is very wise to start to open up for international tourists. And we saw a tremendous increase in searches and not so much booking yet because the timing is still a little bit far away. But we already seeing a big increase in the searches
for hotels and flights come in and out of Singapore.
Right.
And so that's quite encouraging. When we see the recovery like this, will definitely speed up our investment.
But let's talk about an investment that you made, which was with the Skyscanner, right? If you can tell us what is the best thing about your acquisition with Skyscanner?
Well, Skyscanner is still the leading flight meta search in the world, and particularly they have the largest share of meta search in Europe, and their intra-Europe traffic is fully recovered. It gave us opportunity to quickly introduce Tripcom brand to our European customers, and it accelerated our product development and our relationship with the European airlines, and also it helped us build accelerated our human resource development in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about one thing that could be improved about that acquisition? One thing that could be done better?
Well, we're still working on our hotel search product. It took us a while. I think we could have done it or made more or quicker investment in building the meta hotel search product in Skyscanner.
Okay. So the other companies that I think you know very well is Rakuten and Booking, right? You know these two companies well. So if I may ask, like one thing that you've learned from each of those companies, like one thing that you learned about Rakuten that they do really well, and one thing about Booking.com that they do really well.
Well, they've done many things very well. Okay. Booking, I think they have gained a lot of market share in US. That's very significant. That's not easy when Expedia was quite strong in US. And Rakuten, they are very deep in their product and marketing presence in Japan. So they have a pretty strong hold in the Japanese, especially in the domestic Japanese travel market. Yeah.
Right. What about one thing that you think Tripcom Group could do better, James?
Well, in the past, we tried to develop our international market, non-Chinese market. So we started about 2 or 3 years ago, but we should have or could have started earlier. So we were kind of late to come outside of China. So we're in the catch-up mode now. But it takes a long time to do it. And we have to be patient and then grow our market presence, growing our technology and product steadily.
So if I were to ask you, what are the 3 areas of interest that you feel that you could make up for lost time in, which are the 3 areas of interest?
Well, we'll continue to enhance our flight product, especially the international flight product. That got we paused a little bit, slowed down by the pandemic, but we will continue to do that after the recovered. So continue to enhance our flight product, especially international flight product, to be the best international flight OTA in the world, and also to build our advantages or build our functionality in app. I think we have the best app, certainly in China, and our app features are the richest. And so we will continue to leverage that and replicate that strengths across different countries. And also, lastly, but not least, is our advantages in service. So we have built, quite a few, one in Korea, one in Japan, one in Edinburgh, several contact centers around the world. And we always put our customer experience first. So we are very generous in investing in personnel and technology in providing the most responsive and high quality service to our customers. So that needs to be replicated to international markets. Yeah.
Okay, great. So international flights, app superpower, and international customer service, those three areas. Okay, I'm going to go to some personal questions. So you have a PhD in economics from Stanford, right? And now there's a big debate right now because of what's happened during the pandemic, whether humans are rational actors. So what is your view?
Well, I'm still old school economist. So I think by and large, human are rational. Rational doesn't mean they have one goal. Different culture, different people have different value system. So sometimes people value their own freedom, or they sometimes people value their family more. But everybody has a value, and pursue the value with rationality, meaning they understand their objectives, they understand their choices, and they will pursue their choices, maximize their objective given the choices, given what they know. But on small decisions, definitely they can make mistakes, or they can become less rational, or being nudged into certain things. All the marketing psychology literature is built on the creating some demand or creating some wants short term. So yeah, that's certainly more in the short term. Small decisions can be manipulated or can be nudged. That I'm kind of in general, that's kind of my view. Travel, I think, if you talk about travel decisions, well, people always look for the cheapest option, right? That's rational. That's you don't need to argue that people want the choice, the cheapest. Everybody wants the cheapest option given the same product. That's a value shared by everybody. But to travel to which destination, it's quite a irrational or a kind of inspiration.
So you have 2 kids from where. So what do you think of the government move to limit gaming time for kids to 3 hours per week, which is what we've read, that's happening?
Yeah. I think that's a very good policy. Exactly how you police that is a different question. At least the Chinese gaming companies, I think they will find good ways to enforce that. Yeah, I think the kids, they after school, they should have a lot of free time to explore the world, right? Especially with parents on a very flexible work week, they should go with the parents to take more trips. That's a very good way to learn the real world. So limiting the gaming time, and it has a more balanced screen time and real world traveling time is really good for the family too, and for the children. Sometimes right. I take my son to my business trip or my live streaming trips in China, and they get to learn. My son does really enjoy the trip, and he gets to learn different culture and meet different new friends. So that's really helpful. But there's only one condition: he can do the online material, online learning at night.
Okay.
Yeah, it's becoming busy, but I think it's much better utilized for over of his time rather than just playing games at home.
Couldn't agree more. So you have become known as the king of live streaming this time during the pandemic. You are the king of live streaming, and we wish you could have been here with us in Singapore, at this conference, but unfortunately you can't. So thank you for joining us all the way from Boston, and enjoy your travels. Make up for all those months that you couldn't travel, and travel for us as well, James. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to come to Singapore again, and certainly we'll do a live streaming show to promote Singapore.
Yes, do that. Thank you, James.